The Dusky 278. With an overall length of 27 feet 8 inches, a beam of 8 feet 5 inches, and max horsepower rating of 450.
Tell you what, I'm ready for our next boat. You know how much I love the classics. One of the first boats I ever fished offshore on, a 20-foot Dusky center console.
Well, you know, sometimes simple is better, but sometimes complex is better. It really depends on what the individual fisherman wants in his boat. It's the beauty of Dusky. Every boat's custom built. So you can get the boat as simple and plain as you want, or you can get it as dolled out as you want, with the maximum amount of electronics, all the features that you want. You sit down with the Browns, you design the boat that you want from the start.
They've been building them for 50 years, and you're exactly right. On their boats, you can put everything you need and nothing you don't, because each one is built by the Brown family to what you want. What's the best boat for you?
Well, let's take a walk aboard this 278 and look at some of the features that they put on this particular boat. One thing that blew me away was it's got over-the-top electronics that you normally don't see but on a big mega yacht, but yet their console's large enough to fit that amount of electronics on, something you normally don't see on a boat in 27-foot range.
You're exactly right. I thought of the Starship Enterprise. I can picture Uhura sitting there in her chair, you know, it's just what that console reminds you of.
Well, let's take a look at it, come on. All right, you come out of the world of big sport fish. Normally a 27-foot boat is not going to have a console big enough to accept this amount of electronics. So what they did is they built a console where you can pretty much put any kind of screen you want, and that's really important. People a lot of times buy a boat, then they go buy their electronics only to find that they won't fit.
Yes, but look at the way this hull's built. She's got plenty of beam amidships to where you still got plenty of room to come walking by the console. This console is wide, but it's clearly not too wide for this boat.
Oh, not at all. Another thing I like about the console, it's big enough for a large step-down head. If you're going to bring the wife and the family aboard, they're going to want to have a potty. Go underneath this console, it's got a real marine head down here, not just some little porta potty, and there's plenty of room to go down there and use it. A lot of other boats that we looked at, they had potties, but you had to go through a door that small and you were cramped. In here, you got a nice big door, you step down in there, plenty of room, you're not going to feel claustrophobic. Well, the storage is another big plus too, because this is a boat that you easily can make a long run with. You're going to take a lot of stuff with you. You've got plenty of storage inside this console to take everything that you need without it laying out on the deck.
Think about how much kite fishing has changed South Florida fishing and so many of the sailfish tournaments and all. You're going to need helium tanks. You got the room for them.
All right, now that we've covered the technology of this boat, let's get back here in the cockpit where all the action takes place. All right, this comfortable seat we're sitting on, it does fold out of the way, but you know what? I don't know that I'd be too quick to get rid of it. This is a great place to sit as we're running offshore, but then even as we're fishing, I may sit back here and rig tackle.
Well, that's because you never watch the baits like you're supposed to. For guys like me, I'd be sitting there facing the stern, but either way you want it, you can have it. Good, big live well, the heart and soul of any offshore boat.
Well, I like where they put it too, because this is where you're going to be using your live bait. It's large, it's easy to get into. I have to get you off of it so I can get to my bait, but it's right there.
It's also in the center of the boat. Think about it. 60 gallons of water, 420 pounds? Are you kidding me? You're going to want that in the center of your boat.
Well, to help offset that extra weight, you've got the bracket back here. I talked about it earlier. I love a boat with a bracket. It gets the motors back there, gets the stance of the boat wider, you get the flotation of the bracket. Plus, with the way they've rigged these BRPs, that is a real swim platform.
You're right. It's got a lot more function than just moving those motors back further. It's really a very important piece of the boat.
All right, you're always talking about catching big fish. Well, if you happen to get lucky and catch one, I've got a great place up in the bow for you to keep it. Come check it out. All right, look how large this bow is. I love it. You've got nice, comfortable seating up here. I've got an insulated fish box on this side. I've got a 50-gallon insulated cooler behind me, additional storage here, storage up forward, and you even have a separate anchor lock.
They've got enough room up here for even as many fish as I catch. But like you said, everything you need, nothing you don't. There's plenty of room to fight your fish around. You want to take these cushions off and leave them on tournament day? You got plenty of room to fight 2-3 hooked fish up here.
Well, what they've done here with this Dusky as well, with the three-piece construction, you've got a molded interliner, but then you have a molded ring deck instead of the interliner coming all the way down, so you gain all that room up underneath the gunnel. The boat's wide anyway, but this just gives you the illusion of the boat is much, much wider than what it is, and you haven't lost the use of all that room under
That's
there.
right. It's not an illusion. You actually have a lot more room with room under your gunnels. In fact, they've gone back to the old-style rod racks on the side, which is the best place ever to store your rods while you're running.
Well, you got plenty of seating up here for the family. You got plenty of area back there for the fishermen. This is one boat that'll make everybody happy.
Because it's everything you need and nothing you don't. It's just flat functional.